During recovery, a number of things are achieved to allow the body to regain energy. For example, it resynthesizes the ATP-PC while also combining the myoglobin with oxygen again. Furthermore, during this process, glucose and glycogen are restored and the lactic acid is disposed of, allowing the body to heal, ready for training or a race. Recovery will differ depending on the type of exercise undergone, and therefore may last shorter or longer periods each time. There are many different components of recovery that assist in returning the body to its pre-exercise state. As you can see from the graph, the recovery begins instantly after exercise. However, the levels of oxygen that were consumed during exercise are a factor in how the body recovers. During exercise, the area of the box marked with the dotted line above represents the oxygen needed to take place to aerobically respirate. For example, in the beginning there's an oxygen deficit, meaning there is not enough oxygen for the body to perform aerobically, and it therefore performs anaerobically. This can differ in size, as during a higher intensity exercise this would be bigger, as more oxygen is needed to perform the activity, which the athlete does not have at that point. The recovery stages can be seen with the latter part of the graph, which also differs depending on the intensity/duration of the activity, and represents EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which can be split into two parts, fast and slow. The fast component, also known as the lactic component, is the stage in which myoglobin is replenished with O2 and ATP-PC is resynthesized. This is named the fast component as it is achieved in 2 to 3 minutes and only uses 1 to 4 litres of O2, which is fairly easy to consume after exercise, as the body remains with a high heart rate and breathing rate to allow more oxygen to be consumed for the fast component to work. On the other hand, the slow component can take hours to complete and focuses on removing the lactic acid and maintaining temperature and ventilation. This can be seen in the later stages of the final curve, as it uses more litres of oxygen, 5 to 8, as it needs to repay the oxygen deficit. The system works to remove lactic acid through converting it back to pyruvate acid, where it can then be converted into H2O and CO2 as well as glycogen and some other glucose, which can then be used to create ATP energy. The process of EPOC depends highly on the nature of the exercise undergone, as it is likely some sports have a quick recovery time, whereas others may take longer. For example, during a football match, there is a good chance all systems are used, ATPC, anaerobic, depending on the position. Due to this and the long duration of the match, 90 minutes, it is likely a number of fatiguing factors can be found. For example, build-up of lactic acid, glycogen depletion, and many more. Due to this, EPOC will be much longer as opposed to an 100-meter sprint, as more oxygen will be needed for the longer processes of EPOC, where lactic acid is removed/converted. As stated in the recovery from 100 meters, the recovery from 100 meters would be shorter, as the fatiguing factors would be a lack of ATP-PC, as it is around 10 seconds, and therefore mainly the fast stage of recovery would be needed to resynthesize ATP-PC. As can be seen in the table from the VO2 max test, the student's heart rate rises to 201 from 178, and the blood lactate rises to 7.8. Initially, it is likely the heart rate will remain fairly high after exercise to allow more oxygen to be consumed. However, over time, heart rate will begin to lower. On the other hand, it is likely blood lactate will take longer to dispose, as it is part of the slow component, and therefore could take up to hours. Despite recovery working well in many ways, it can also be aided through steps taken before, during, and after exercise. One example of this would be an active recovery, as it allows the body to maintain a high level of oxygen consumption while also reducing the buildup of lactic acid, which would help reduce stress and strain in the muscles. In addition, a warm-up before exercise is also very beneficial to reduce fatigue, as it reduces the oxygen deficit your body suffers at the beginning of exercise, allowing the body to work aerobically in the beginning as opposed to anaerobically, which would cause the body to produce lactic acid, which contributes to fatigue. Another factor that aids recovery is down to the diet of the athletes and a good nutrition, as an effective diet allows the body to delay fatigue and speed up recovery. These steps, along with stretching and other aids for recovery, could massively reduce DOMS, which is felt by most athletes after exercise, as it is a soreness that ranges in discomfort it is felt hours after. This can be caused with exercise at a higher intensity to usual and will make it highly difficult to train over the up and coming days, however is usually reduced through hydrotherapy, massages and other aids mentioned already.